All right, guys. Welcome to the Iconic Life podcast, where we gather around the virtual tables for real, soulful conversations about what it means to live a life of calling, of wealth, joy, and purpose. I'm your host, Hannah Elsey. I'm the founder of Agora Wellness. I'm the creator of the Iconicity movement. I call myself a transformation midwife, an overflow activator, and a movement builder of a community of visionary women who are choosing to lead and live lives they are wildly in love with. Here, we don't do just surface level chatter. We go deep. We talk about truth and the kind of stories that remind us that we are limitless when we are walking in our divine purpose and identity. When I say living iconically, here's what I mean by that. It's remembering who you were created to be and choosing to live from that place fully and unapologetically. It's saying yes to your divine calling, even when it's messy, when it's stretchy, chaotic, and building wealth, legacy, and joy from a place of overflow. It's leading movements, raising families, and co creating a life that feels like art. Because living iconically means you aren't chasing a dream, you are the dream. And today, we get to dive into that with my guest. Welcome, Jacqui.
Thank you, Hannah. Oh my
So
gosh.
happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. And that intro to just what you're describing, just listening to that lights me up and hearing you talk about, yeah, like the authenticity of things, the messiness and choosing joy. Like,
Yeah, even in the
yeah.
midst, right? Because I know we've talked about this before, but like we don't get to choose what happens to us necessarily, but we do get to choose what we do with it and what we make of it and how we let that bring something beautiful in our life despite, right? And I love that. It's very that power that we have is amazing. All right. So I'm so happy to have you. So, Jacqui, I you and I met, I guess, has it been like a year and a half ago
I
or a year
think so.
ago? A year? Okay. I'm like,
It's
it feels like a
been,
lot. I feel like I've known you for a long time, but I actually don't know that it's been that long, right? Maybe it's been a year actually. Yeah. Yeah. It's only
I
been a
think in
year.
person, it's been a year since,
I
yeah,
think
since,
I think we had our first coffee chat last fall, but around this time. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. It feels like I've known you for so much longer. It's so funny.
I know.
Like a sister from another time. It's okay. It's all right. That's so funny. But yeah, I think it's only been a year, but so much has happened during that time. And you have like done amazing things in that time. Because I remember when we first sat down and were chatting via Zoom with our little coffee tea chats.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you were just finishing out like some stuff career wise, and you were about to make some big changes. And I have been honored to like cheer from the sideline as I've been watching you do like amazing things throughout this only a year, which it feels like it's been longer, because you have packed a lot of life into this time.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so I guess let's start from the beginning a little bit because I don't do like a formal intro. I like to give you the mic and you just tell us a little bit about you and who you are, where you're at in the world now, and what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. So from a year ago, I was in Michigan and where it's chilly, it's cold. I was just talking to my parents today, as they are still in Michigan, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a wind chill of -15 today.
Oh my gosh.
And I, geographically wise, I am in Bali, Indonesia right now,
Mhm.
and
Like the
hanging out
opposite
in a
of 15 degrees.
villa. Yeah, it's like 80. I was like, I know. And now I've converted from talking in Fahrenheit to Celsius. So I was like, oh no, it's like 27, 28 degrees. But in Fahrenheit, I believe that's about 80 or 86
Wow.
degrees.
Wow.
So to
Might
me,
call me.
yeah, balmy, what
Beautiful.
I prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a change geographically across the globe
Hmm.
to where I'm living. And now, instead of having a place like a condo that was just in Michigan, I am now traveling around and I still have a place in Michigan, but as far as like other than that, for the past few months since October, and it is now December, and not even like early December anymore. This is
Yeah, it's the
mid-December.
middle of
I
December.
mean,
Yeah,
this
my
is
gosh.
the 16th of December that this is being recorded on. So I've been traveling since mid-October and have not been home in the States since then. And my first piece of traveling after I left a corporate job, which was like when we were talking then, I was still in a corporate job, which I had been in for 14 years, and looked at, I knew I wanted to leave. I finally let them know it, like I let them know in December. I think right around the time that we had met and had coffee chats, I was like, I'm making the decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Yep.
Like
I remember
this
you saying that, like you had decided and you were going to do it. Like, yeah.
yeah, that's
And then you did
that's
it.
a key piece in life. I
So true.
think that's a key piece of living an iconic life. You make a decision
Yeah.
and you're like, it's going to figure itself
And that's it.
out.
Yep. It's not the
I
how is it going to happen.
decided
It is going to happen because you
it
made the
is.
decision. Yep. I 100%.
Therefore, it will figure itself out because those are the options that are available if I am deciding to do this.
Yes. Ooh, such a
And
powerful thing.
yeah. And like where the messiness comes in and the joy and like you said, I feel like I've lived several lifetimes. The amount of growth, experience, people, places, cultures, ways of life that I have experienced in this amount of time since so I let the company know in December. They asked me to stay on until February, and so I did. And then from February till the end of February till like early March, I basically got ready to leave. And the first place I came was here, Bali. So this is my return to Bali. And it was as of basically like November 30th yeah, of this year.
Later.
So I've
Okay.
been here about 2 weeks
Okay.
and it's being back here and realizing how much has changed in my life since then. And
Mm.
when I got back here, like I'd already had friends here that I made just in that month of being there in March. And when I got back, they were like, okay, so where have you been? They're like, how many countries have you been to? And I was like, well,
Right.
are we counting if I'm revisiting any or just new ones? Or like, and I think it was 14 countries, like
Wow.
different, and 16 if I'm counting, like, okay, I went to the States and came back. I went to El Salvador and came back. Indonesia twice. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
14 or 16 countries
Wow.
within a year.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, you've
It,
been doing so many cool things. Oh, Jackie. Okay, so before you keep going into this, I can't wait to hear more about your travels and things like that. But we talked about that decision moment.
yes.
And so, can you take us to, is there a moment that you can pinpoint in your mind where you like realize, like, hey, I'm not going to keep just living this kind of autopilot life? Like you said, you were in a career for 14 years, right?
Yeah.
What was the thing what was the moment where you're like, no, there's something else for me. There's something else calling me and I'm going to choose that. I'm going to decide to choose that. Like what was happening in your life then, or what moment was that for you? What shifted inside of you that said, I'm going to choose a different path?
I can pinpoint one where I made the decision because I had been thinking about this for
Mhm.
a while. Like I'm talking half a decade. Like, oh, I always knew I would not stay in a corporate job. I was
Mhm.
always like, I knew I wasn't meant for that. And but yet it was very comfortable. It
Safety.
was, I wouldn't say running on autopilot because there were definitely like the ups and downs and challenges in that position, but it was something that I knew. It
Familiar.
was stretchy. Yeah, it was very familiar, but it wasn't fulfilling
Mm,
anymore. Like I loved the people, but there was this misalignment with the industry.
mm,
And so I had had that thought many times. And there are two key components of it that I looked at, and it was end of June of 2024. And that was when I joined basically the mastermind that we had met through. And
Mhm.
when I made the decision to join that, and it was like, this is my way to figure this out.
Yeah.
This is a how piece. This feels super stretchy. I'm excited and I'm scared shitless to do this.
Yeah.
So I was
I
like,
concur. I know that feeling.
so that's a yes.
Yeah.
Because that
It feels
is
stretchy.
a green light for you need to do the thing.
Mm,
Um, and that was one piece of it. And then it wasn't until December of that year, which really wasn't that much longer,
yeah.
that I find that like something that I've been thinking about for 5 years here and there. Like it took me maybe a year to kind of flesh out, like, well, what would I want to do? And then it was like, well, then how do I do it? How do I do the business strategy, all of this stuff?
Right.
Found that mentorship. And then within that time frame of about 6 months, it was like, well, you need to leave the job. That there is no other, like, you just need to do it. And I think the deciding factor in that was I talked with another woman in this space, which is why I feel like getting in these spaces and being around others who are doing these things,
Yes.
either the women who have already done it and the people who have already done it, or the ones who are taking these steps along with you, of
Mhm.
going, this can work, this is possible. Being in that sphere, in that space, in that energy, it pulls you in.
Mhm.
And it was talking with Megan Riley and looking at my financials and going, and she's like, yeah, you can do this. And so I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I have time, even though it feels scary, I will be okay. And I
Mhm.
am resourceful enough that like I will figure it out. It will
Yeah.
like, so that was the deciding factor, was it was that last logical piece that I needed to feel safe enough to go, I'm going to go for this.
Gonna jump.
Gonna
Okay.
jump.
Yeah, it's you mentioned, like, being in the rooms with the people who women and men, because 'cause I'm in different masterminds, one some
Yeah.
are just women, some are both, and that has been so pivotal, right? Like, because being in those spaces helps to calibrate you to where you're going. Because like you said, the women who've done this already, who are way ahead of me, like, yeah, and the ones who are at my like, here, we're all going, right? There's that energy, that collective, like, power of that, like, it brings you forward, right? What is that saying? Like, you're the sum total of your 5 closest inner circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
if you're around people who have no vision, who have no dreams, or who, aren't able to see that perspective, and again, it's not making them wrong for that, right? But because they don't have that vision that you have, you've gotta be around people who have this a vision, right? Who are, like, moving to bigger capacities in order to move to your next capacity. Life-changing. Yeah, stretchy, stretchy.
Stretchy
Stretching
for
is the
sure.
right, but it's the thing you do, right? Once you make that decision, get yourself in a space that's gonna help fuel that. Yeah.
And I feel like that is what these months have been for me, is continuing to put myself in spaces and be around people who are taking the kind of risks. And I say like calculated risks in this
Mhm.
sense, in the way that they look at financials and the way that they look at a business risk and going, you could look at someone who is just in a 9 to 5 job or who is an employee of something. And I feel like it may be a very different thing for them to go, oh, I'm going to put this much money aside and know it's a gamble and I'm betting on myself or in my ability to do something. I don't have proof that this will work. And I'm just going to put this money there and it may or may not work out. Like to them, that's most likely very risky. Whereas you would look at it and go, okay, I don't have the track record for this particular thing, but have I seen other things in my life? And am I surrounded by people who could help me figure it out? And to go, yeah, why wouldn't I make that bet? Because the downside of if I don't go for it, those like the you're looking at the flip side of how unhappy would I be, how unfulfilled, and then you go, well, it's just money. Like
It's just
it
money. Yeah, I agree.
it's and that's not something that I feel like I always would have said before. And
Mhm.
to go, oh, it's just money, and to go, at some point I could work in some capacity to get it back or pay for it if it needed to happen. Like
Yeah,
I
there's
can
always gonna
figure
be
things. Yeah.
right, I was gonna say there's always gonna be a way to, like, bring in the energy of the money that you need. I 100% because it's just money, right? But living out your calling, who you are, like, that to me, it's a priceless thing, and what are we here for, right? Like, what are we here for in this one precious life? Like, I mean, my story, like, I lost my husband when I was 32, he was 34. We weren't thinking about end of life stuff. That was a sudden, like,
Yeah,
we had
no.
no idea that his life was gonna end that day, right? And we had big goals and big visions, and, like, like, what are we here for? Like, fulfill the days that we have, each single one of them, and, like, let's not waste our time on and I'm not digging on jobs. I have a job still, right? Because I also have children and I have a life and I understand I'm not being reckless, I guess that's what I'm saying. But there is something to taking a risk and I'm okay with that. Like I know that about myself. I'm okay with taking risk. And that's who I am. That's who I'm created to do. And I am investing in myself and my future because I have decided that that is where I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
going to fulfill my calling. And everybody's calling is different, right? And this, I've talked about this before. Like your iconic life is not my iconic life, and that's okay because we each have a
Right.
different one, right? But I'm going for mine, and you're going for yours, right? Yeah.
And that's what's so beautiful and special about it, that I look at it as like, yeah, we all have our own unique, whether it's like pieces or things that call us and that we want to do. And it's ultimately, it's like, what is the definition of an iconic life or joy, or like what is being rich or what is being wealthy? And I look at that as like, it's not just monetary, it's
Mm,
how present can you be with the people around you? What is your capacity to hold space for yourself, for others? How much do you love yourself? What's your inner talk? Like, do you notice those things, and is it like, are you noticing the beauty throughout the day, or are you noticing all of the little things that piss you off? Like, are you leading from a state of gratitude and awe and wonder,
mhm.
or just like, man, I'm bored out of my mind, or this is monotonous and I don't want to do that. And there's always going to be parts of the day that are like that. There's
There'll
always
be
going to be
touches of it.
tasks that we have that we're like, oh, I
Exactly.
really don't want to do that, but
Must be
it's
done.
gotta get done.
Yeah.
And then there is the piece of, how much of it do I want to feel is joyful? And I feel like I've had so much growth during this time of slowing down and like, and just being, just existing and taking in life and going, and there's parts of me that are like, wait a minute, like, is it supposed to feel this good? Don't I have to give something up for it to feel this way? I've
Mhm.
noticed those
Mm.
thoughts coming in so much. Like today, I moved from one place to another, was packing bags, and then I get to this new place, and it is one of the few that has had a bathtub. And I was like, I have time. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to enjoy this. And I
Awesome.
remember enjoying this and being like, but wait, like, was there something else I needed to do? Should I really be spending my time this way?
Mm.
Like, should I really be fully enjoying this when there's other
Mm.
things? And
Isn't
I
that
noticed that just creep in. Like, even in this, when I'm living like a life that feels very, for the most part, easeful. It's not always. There are definitely some challenges. And I'm like, they're just different now. Like,
mm.
and even that, like I have those little thoughts and I go, yeah, but wait a minute. Like this is allowed. Like I've expanded my capacity, I would say, or like a baseline of how much joy, how much like little life pleasures to let in. That has been so different from what
That's
it
really
was a year ago.
That's really powerful though, because I think especially a lot of us women understand that. I don't know that that's something men struggle with, but I think it's something that we struggle with a lot. Like, should I be this happy? Should I be relaxing in this space? Then you said you expanded your capacity for joy. And that is something that is so we don't always think about that because like, oh, I need to expand my capacity for work, this, that, whatever. But what about for just literally the joy of it? And that it is a good thing. It doesn't, there's no reason to feel guilty because you're in that, right? Because I think that's the little like
That's the thing of like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, no, I can feel this, but doesn't it have to come along with something else? Don't I have to
Yeah.
do like so much more to get this? And it's like, no, 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 no.
No.
This is supposed to be our original like baseline and what children feel. And before we program and put all these layers on, it's like been this uncovering and peeling all of these layers off of like this conditioning of no, you can just enjoy life. It is meant to be joyful and like present with people and I've realized like how little like I don't really watch TV anymore. I really didn't that much, but I felt like I would go through phases of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't and I'm noticing
So
like
much better for it.
and how much more like how many more conversations I have with people and then
Yes.
the types of
Yes.
conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
today, like I had dinner with two friends, and I'm staying here in this villa that was booked today with friends because, like, with a friend, because we decided, we had talked about it earlier last week of like, do we maybe want to come to this town? Sure. And then she messaged me this morning. It was like, hey, I'm gonna head up there at 3 p.m. Do you want to join? And then like we can go do this one waterfall tour. Here is, the options for this. Like, get back to me. Like, let me know if you want to go. And then she's like, great. Like, and do you have the capacity to look at lodging? And I was like, yep, I have time right now. I can do that. And I looked at that and like the car ride, while I was already moving spaces in the one town that we were staying in, and I had to move spaces that day, like today anyway. So I was like, oh, I'm already having to pack stuff. So it's just, I need to pack one extra bag while I'm already doing this.
So there you go.
And yeah, and to just go, yeah, and it gets to be a little more of an adventure. And
Yeah.
then I looked at the logistics of like, and I have to make sure they have good Wi-Fi. That's a must. I was like,
Yes.
and we both had calls today, tonight, and we were both like, "Oh," and I was like, "And I have a call at 10 p.m. tonight." And she's like, "Oh, I do too." And I was like, "We're like, great. Awesome."
Perfect. Look at that. What a beautiful life though, right? Like the ability to, I think for you to to be able to work from anywhere in the world on the schedule that you love and do these like spontaneous, like, hey, let's go on this trip that we chatted about. Like that's a freedom, I think, is such a the freedom to do that is such a beautiful thing, a luxurious thing, right? And I
Yes.
love that for you. Like that to me is an iconic life, right? These lives that you get to explore. And you mentioned like it's not always just easy. It's not that you're just like eating chocolate covered strawberries and just chilling all the time, right? Because you mentioned that there's some ups and downs in it, but that's also part of the beauty of life, I believe. Again, having walked through a lot of loss and grief and whatnot, and realizing that we could still figure out joy. We could still experience that. We could still like laugh and we could like we learned to walk with grief and joy intermingled. And that was something I had never understood before. But I think because we experienced the depth of the pain and the darkness that could be there, we also so much more appreciate and embrace the light and the beauty and the joy part of it. And I don't think we would have that if you didn't have the opposite, right? There's something about that, the duality of it, and like understanding the contrast that makes it that much sweeter, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for it in that respect because I think there's a depth of character that is built there that I didn't have before. Not that I was a shallow person before, but like there's just something else there, right? And the sweetness of the beauty of life is so much more like, oh, you know? Like you mentioned, the little things like looking out the window this morning and seeing the sun sparkling on the snow that was like crusting the table on my back porch. I was like, that is so beautiful. Like, let me just stop for a second, just like it
Yeah.
gets me in my feelings. It's like, oh my gosh, like, wow, look at that. And I love that. But speaking of the iconic life not always being smooth, what are some obstacles that you have faced as you that have tested you as you've been moving through? You made this decision, you jumped into this new way of doing life. What are some of the obstacles that you have like been through, the challenges that have kind of come at you and how
Oh no, she went off. Okay, she's gonna come back. I'll give it a minute. All right, you're back, but muted.
Okay. I don't know what
Okay.
just happened there. That was I was like, "Wait, I'm talking to myself." Okay. And it's still recording.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
That was strange.
it is.
Okay, so I'm not sure exactly where I chopped off, but I was asking about facing obstacles and challenges. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
What are some that you've gone through and how do you move through them? And what are the like
Yeah.
strengths that you've learned from some of these lessons?
So some of these things, because I have been traveling a lot, is that I really, for the past year, have only spent about 3 to 4 months in Michigan, like in one place at a given time. Like
Okay.
before I traveled in February, like I don't count that, but when I started traveling as of February, since then, or end of February, March, that I would say one of the challenges and one of like the joys is I get to experience new places. But it means that this grounding, this routine, um, of finding like a set routine, that's been a
Mhm.
challenge of kind of just
Yeah.
going with the flow a bit. And there
Okay.
comes a point where some people, I know some nomads and they've been traveling for 5 years and this life totally works for them. For me, I still need a base or bases. I've realized it's not just one base. I don't want to be just based out of one place. I probably want 2 to 3 across the world. But
Yeah.
to have these kind of like pinpoints where I can drop bags and be and kind of feel like it's home for so many months or to like get to do a trip and then come back.
Uh-huh.
Because I would say one of the things was this year after traveling around and I was like, "Oh, I want to spend the summer in Europe," which like sounds amazing and it was and I spent part of it there and then I realized like I feel so ungrounded. I need to be in a place for at least a month. I don't want to move bags for a
Mm.
month.
Mhm.
Um and I couldn't figure out after visiting places where I wanted to be for a solid month and then picking a place like I would say one of the things is like just like a house you want to go and see it before you just commit to it because like what if there's
Yeah.
mold, what if there's things that like it doesn't look like the pictures, there's things that
Yeah.
just don't feel right.
So many things.
And I've done that where I've like booked a place for a week and then gotten there and been like, oh, this is
Uh,
not what I thought. There are ants everywhere. There
yeah.
is like a toilet that doesn't work. There's mold. That's a problem. Like I've had those sorts of things. And now I'm like, I realize I don't encounter them as much. But I would say some of the things is like the way I look at reviews on two sites like Google and Airbnb or booking whatever I book things on.
Mm.
Like there's different ways that there's new strategies or like can I see a place first?
Yeah.
And so it's like the ability of not being able to have a time frame of that for when I was in Europe and going, I just need to be home. And I was like, wait, it's Michigan, it's summer, it's beautiful. I have a place, like just go home.
Yeah.
Just settle in there. And even there coming back, which was like, it's beautiful. I have the beach, like I have friends and everything there. And it was so beautiful to connect with them. But I have a different work schedule than a lot of them. So it was like,
Mm, mhm.
okay, they're not available. Some of them were available during the day, but not many of them.
Yeah.
And then at night, I was like, I want my like quiet downtime now. Like I'm like,
And
I want
that's
to
when
do
they're
something. And that's when they're like, let's stay out late. I'm like, I don't do late. I want to get up early and like go
Yeah.
for a walk.
Yeah.
I'm very different in that sense. Um, yeah, so like, I mean, even that, like coming back to a community, integrating back into a community and in a space where I felt like I had changed so much. There was some relationships that deepened so much, and there were
Hmm.
some that like there was a disconnect between us and navigating that. And
Yeah.
that I would say that that was hard. Like the
Yeah.
changes in some of us and like some people who maybe I didn't resonate as much with before, I resonated more with later after our life experiences on both sides that we had been through.
Hmm.
And I think that that's one of the other challenges in this is how you had mentioned holding grief and joy together. There's a lot of goodbyes in the trap in travel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, I know we'll see each other again, but you're moving on, or we're both
Mhm.
going in different places, and still being able to like appreciate time that you have together and
Mhm.
exciting adventures, but knowing that like it's not necessarily consistent.
Yeah.
That's something of like holding that. And I would say, like, really tuning into my body or like letting myself feel emotions and just being like, there may be times where I'm like, I think that my body needs rest. I'm going to let it have rest. Like, there were times when after travel and like different water, like, there was a point when I came back and I was like, my hair is falling out. I'm like, that's
Ugh,
not a good sign. I was like,
no.
from so much travel stress and like,
Oh, yeah.
and water quality in different areas.
So
Like
interesting. Yeah.
there's the drinking water, like, okay, like you drink water from a gallon jug thing. You don't drink the water here.
Hmm.
But, and at first it was like, oh, it's fine to just like, in bathing in it is fine too. But then I found out
Hmm.
from some of my friends, they're like, oh, your hair's falling out. They're like, yeah, that's a thing. They're like, yeah, no, it's the water quality in some of these places. And I was like,
Interesting.
what?
It, I,
So
I guess that makes sense though, because our skin is our biggest
our,
organ.
yeah, it
Yeah.
absorbs
Yeah.
everything.
Hmm. So interesting.
So
Hmm.
that was a thing.
Yeah.
Learning that and being like, okay, well, half of it's water quality and half of it is probably like, am I stressing my body out from moving so much? Is it
Mm-hmm.
being in different time zones and areas and circadian rhythms? And it has to
Hmm.
figure out where are we now? And the sun is doing this and it wasn't doing that like 2 days ago. What's
Right.
going on here?
True story. Hmm.
So I would say some of the navigating just like the actual logistics of travel, I would say, yeah, like dynamics between individuals. I feel like I have it's been so different from being in like one set environment. And then there was a point where I was on a cruise ship, where I did like I didn't want to fly out here. And then the universe kind of popped up. Well, you can take a boat and a cruise line with other nomads, and you guys get to
Oh,
work
fun.
on like you get to do a excursions and see really cool places, but then throughout the days at sea, we have conferences, and it was like we had AI week, we had people talking about human
Oh, cool.
design, we had people talking about like investing
Nice. Yeah.
and like anything from yeah, like human design to crypto to stocks to like pitching and 30
Love it.
second pitches, all kinds of stuff, really cool stuff, and met amazing people.
Yeah.
And for some people, it was fine for them to work on the boat. I really struggled with like working on the boat, only having Starlink, but not having cell service. So then like
Mm.
two factor authentication.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you had a VoIP phone number, it worked fine. But if you
But if
had
you
like
didn't,
cell, which I didn't,
yeah, I wouldn't even have thought about that.
I
Yes.
didn't either until it happened. And I was like, we have 27
Oops.
days. Okay, this is a
Okay.
thing. Just gonna go, I'm gonna roll with this.
Just gonna roll with it. Yep.
And I think that's one of the things I've developed is like the ability to just be like, well, am I gonna choose to get upset about this? And if I am, it's all
Mhm.
right. If I need to have a little meltdown about something, gonna have it. It's all right.
Let it
And
move.
then going like, how fast can I
Mhm.
move on? Like,
Yeah.
like what am I really gonna get upset about? Or if it's something with other people, it's like, is this a hill I want to die on?
Mhm.
No, let it go.
Yeah.
Like, there's somewhere I'm like, yep,
This
this
is
might
what I'm
be
gonna
it.
stand on. Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna stand on. Yep, we are choosing this. Like, it's
That's
yeah,
true.
I would say communication has been and like with travel and that there are so many different cultures and ways of doing things.
Mm.
I feel like there's been so much to grow and learn from and from travel as well.
Yeah.
Like that's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think just like relating to people, relating to myself, seeing like noticing different cultures and like traveling here in Bali, I love because it's like I could go out at night. And if I was out with friends and then needed to get a ride back late at night and like get here, it's not a cab. You can get cars, but you get a scooter. And like, because I don't drive scooters, I did and got hurt. And now I don't, now I won't do
Oh,
that. I
okay.
didn't get hurt bad. Like it was like very minor, superficial, but I got scared
But
and
it
I'm
was
like,
enough. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." So it's like being in places that, okay, like you hop on a scooter. And I looked at that when I was
Mm.
in Costa Rica with a friend and staying. And then there was a point where she was like, hey, I have a job that I am going off to for 2 weeks. Do you want to like stay at my place and watch my dog? And I was like, great, because that'll give me time to work and have downtime. But that was a country where honestly, if I forgot something from the grocery store, didn't have something late at night, I was not going out. I was like, it's
Gotcha.
me alone as a woman.
Yeah. Being
It's
wise about those
it's
kind
gonna
of,
be
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like yep, it's after sunset, or I would be getting back after sunset. Nope, that will wait till tomorrow morning till the sun is up again. Like
Gotcha.
it
Yeah.
was just a level of like, there are certain risks I am not willing to take.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah. I
risk
mean,
am I calculating? Yeah.
right. Exactly. Traveling as a woman alone, there's things we do have to consider. And that's very interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah. And knowing how to be wise about that. Um, and I guess,
Yes.
yeah, learning that, like you said, different countries, different like very different in each place, I'm sure. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like what I wear in
Hmm.
certain places in some countries.
Right.
Yeah, knowing that like in some countries and in Europe, like having hair like this and eyes like this, normal. And other places, I'm like, oh no, I stand out very much.
Yeah.
And
It's a different experience.
mhm,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I've definitely had that experience a lot of my life, but anyway. All right. So, okay, so speaking about, living an iconic life, we talked about a lot of these things, but like in your day to day, and I think you've kind of alluded to a couple things already, but in your day to day, what are um maybe like daily practices or choices or values that you or rituals even that you do on a daily basis or consistently that help keep you anchored in your life and who you are even amidst all the change and the travel and all the things like that, but what are some things that keep you focused and grounded?
for me, one of the top things that comes up is movement of some sort.
Mm,
Like whether it's getting out and going for a walk, whether it's being in a place that I can be active with others and like be in a workout class. Acro yoga was like a big and has been a big part of my life. And so there's places where I have the ability to do that. And then there's times and places where I don't.
mhm,
And I would say, like, being able to move my body where it's like the emotions it's
mm,
like, yeah, emotions, it's like energy and motion. It needs to move through at times. And so being
mhm,
able to move my body, have noticed for me that's a huge thing of like,
Yeah.
if I'm feeling weird or I'm just noticing like, man, I'm feeling restless, I'm agitated, or like I'm feeling a little down, or I'm noticing my mind just kind of going. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to move. Like,
Gotta
I
get
need to
moving.
get up. I need to like get out, go for a, like, if it's a place I can walk, walk. If it's like I need to go to like, if there's a gym, if there's a class, if it's a place where you can't really walk that much, then finding like a place where then there is like you can do some sort of movement. I feel like
A
that's
touch
been a
point
huge
for you.
thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say kind of like the meditative space, or whether it's like tuning inward. It's not necessarily like just sitting somewhere totally closing my eyes, but it may just be I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to notice the things around me. I'm going to notice like my body, how I feel. Or it may just be like if I'm sitting honestly here, I don't cook that much. It's
Mhm.
price wise and the food is so like it's reasonable to eat out and the food is
Yeah.
good. You can get good quality food.
Real
So
food.
I eat, yeah, real food. So I eat out and there's times when I might be with friends or I might be eating alone, but I just take moments of like a phone, which is like here, it's next to me. It's like they're always next to us, but I'm not going to be on it. I'm going to look around. I'm going to like tune in. Like I'm going to think about my day, what I have going on, people I want to contact, things that need to get done. And
Mhm.
it might be like with tea or coffee or like there's something that is really there's some little ritual and for me it's generally like tea or coffee to have that is going to be kind of like my anchor to enjoy and where it's just me.
Yeah. It's just that, like, returning to that space for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Okay. So what are you like, what's right now, do you have any, like, programs coming out? 'Cause I know you do some, like, coaching things and stuff like that. Tell us about what's new and alive. What are you excited about right now that you're creating? What's coming
Okay.
up?
So, what is coming up? I have the retreat in El Salvador that will be in September of 26 that I
Okay.
am excited about putting on. And I am putting that on with Audrey Martin. And then Chantel Rizzo is going to be the photographer for it. So, really excited to do that because I feel like so much of my life now has been in person. And I do really love the in person events and being able to pair both like the actual mindset piece of it, because what I work on with people is really return on focus, where it is generally group settings, group energy, and working specifically with people who are working on their next creative project, whether that's in business, whether it's some sort of generally it's not a hobby, or if it's a hobby in a way, it's still kind of business related, or it could be athletic pursuit, but it is working with those who have a new iteration, there's a new level, there's something else that there's a project that they
Mhm.
are working on and it's like this new piece that is coming forth for them and really dialing in both like okay what's the compass setting and the clarity on this and then it may be like okay I have the clarity on this we're moving forward and they're like oh but we're going here but that wasn't quite it and I have to shift and I'm like it's fine tuning like this is like we're getting there you're
Yeah.
just tuning a dial now like you have found the compass direction this is awesome we're just dialing it in and getting to do that and set up a space where the day starts with that. It's 7 days, 6 nights. And so there's that many days that we get to spend each morning, or some of them may be an evening session because we may have an excursion. Like there's a hike to a waterfall, there is a Temescal experience and ceremony. There is also like a hike to a volcano as well.
Mm, gotcha.
So, and then there's also
Exciting.
days where it's like just We're at the resort. It's an eco resort on the beach in the
Mm,
Mazada province. And so it's all that in itself is a beautiful space. They have like
mm.
saunas, cold plunges. And so just having like downtime and being around other creatives
Yeah.
where people are also out of their normal environment and they're with a group, gaining coherence with a group and bouncing ideas off of each other in person,
Yeah.
where you're away from everything else. So you have way more of that creative space. And
Yes,
what we
this
were
it gets
talking,
you that creative space. Exactly. That's it right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the actual environment itself, because there's a difference of for me, I love going to conferences and they definitely give me energy and light me up. But to me, I've specifically picked this place because they really tap into the natural environment. It's like
Mm,
you have the ocean waves. We have these sessions on this yoga shala in the morning. So you have the ocean right there. You're looking out at
mm,
rocks. There's people surfing going by. But like the actual environment, nature is there supporting, pulling you back into like the normal circadian rhythm. You're not in a city. You're not like, you're in a place where it still feel like you it almost feels like you can feel the pulse of the earth, like it's there supporting you, and that pulls you in rhythm. So you have the environment supporting you, you have this group of people who are supporting you, you have a team at this resort who is like, whatever you want, like we will work to make it happen, we are here to support you, so that your
Wow.
needs of like, oh, I need to worry about food, I need to grab this. Like your needs are taken care of so that literally what you're working on can come through.
Yes. I
Like
love that.
that's something. And then, because I know when Audrey and Chantel and I we went to this right after Living Brave Live, and where we just did basically like a run through and then also our own kind of like little mini retreat for, like them putting that on for them as well.
Hmm.
And talking about their goals and things that they have wanted to call in. And then throughout since then, because that was in September, since then, talking with them that these things have been coming through already. Like just
Yeah.
like we spent a week there and we're like, this is what we're dialing in this year and for 2026. And to have these like conversations, voice notes, texts from them and calls, and to be like, oh my gosh, this has happened. Like this
It's
is already
coming
done. I'm
through.
like, we need a new goal. We need to set a new intention. Like
Yeah.
what?
That's so powerful. I love it.
And so working on that. And then I would say also, I've had some one-to-one clients and I am also opening up space for more one-to-one clients. I feel like I have the capacity for more of that. And then also the group one, so that like this would be online twice a month to have people really dialed in, because
Mm.
on the boat, I did a challenge of all of the days at sea that we did not have excursions. So it was 17 days. I want to say it was probably 16 of them because it wasn't the first few days, that I held my intention circles for people to show up to. And it was like every day at 9 a.m., I showed up for it. And that was also for myself to be like, I'm going to show up for this every day.
Mhm.
And I'm super happy that I did it. I realized it's not the time and the style frame that I like to work in, but people loved it. And like people were getting results, people were noticing things change, like we were
Yeah.
like people were excited about it and going, okay, I want to keep that going, but have it be, super focused twice a month, because I
Right.
feel like people are plugged into so many different things, programs, social activities, their kids, their lives. And to go, you don't have to dedicate a huge amount of time, but you can get a big return on it
Right.
when you have a short amount of time, but you're highly focused in it.
Right. You can get the transformation that you're wanting in less amount of times and less steps. Hey, I'll take it any day.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So as we're starting to wrap up, because this has been a beautiful conversation,
It has
and I
been.
feel like we could go on and on for quite a bit, which is what I do in my Telegram channel, because I feel like these
Okay.
conversations, we just start to getting to the good stuff, and then it's like, oh no, we're at an hour. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh. So I love having like a whole week to like dive into things with people in there. But for someone who is listening today to this, to you, for someone who's listening and feeling that tug that they've been thinking about something different, doing something different with their life, creating their iconic life, but they haven't yet stepped into it, they haven't yet decided, what is one truth you'd like to share with them today, or maybe one brave step you would challenge them to do?
Okay. So I would say if they have been thinking about this or like feeling this tug and this pull, there is the piece of really going back to that space and tapping into that feeling, like giving yourself the space where where like no one needs your attention right now. Like if you could have 5 minutes even, and to just tap into that feeling and go, if what I want was already here, if it was already done, I didn't have to worry about it. Money wasn't an issue, time, like I wasn't going to disappoint anyone. I didn't have to worry about any of that. But if it was already here and done, how would I be thinking? What would I be feeling? And what would be the next project and step that I'm working on? Like this version of me. And
Hmm.
what does that version want? What are their goals? How do they show up? And to go, okay, if I'm going to operate from that energy, like what would I do? And I look at where I'm at now, what would that version of me do?
Yeah.
And generally, that version you already know, but it's
Yeah.
terrifying. It's
Hmm.
mapped out. You already know it. It's not like, oh, but I don't know, but no, you know what you want. It's there. It's actually quite crystal clear. It's just scary.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
if it feels like a yes in your body where you're like, I want this, I'm so excited, but I'm really afraid, that's generally the step that you need to take. And I would say it may be too big of it may not be too big of a leap. And if it isn't, go for it. But sometimes that can be like, I'm going to leap. And then you're like, whoa, that was too much, or I don't know. There might be a pullback. So if someone's worried about the pullback, to go, okay, what is the smallest, tiniest thing that I could do that could get me towards that? There's probably some little thing. Like,
Yeah.
do I need to make one phone call to find out this piece? Do I need to Google this thing to find out the price on something? Well, I don't know because it might be expensive. Well, how expensive? Go figure it out.
I
Is
know.
it
Yeah.
really that expensive? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that trip would be awesome, but it's probably a lot. Go look the flight tickets, go pick out the hotel. Like, because now your brain is searching for it and it
Right.
knows it's like, what's the smallest piece that you can tell your brain that it will believe?
Mm.
Where it's like, oh, that's too big of a leap. No, where if you can tell it, all right, but if you're not saying, oh, we're here, yeah, it's going, I don't believe you. We're going, if this were possible, these are the
What would
things
I
we
do
need to look
now?
for. And it would
Right.
go, oh, I can look for that. I can
I can
search for
answer that.
evidence of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's so powerful because once you do that, it starts to answer it
It
like
starts to look for
instantaneously.
that.
Yeah. It's like, wait, what? What did I just do? You made a decision and you told, and like, boom, here we go.
Yeah.
One small, one small step on that journey, right? But it gets you going towards
Yeah.
that journey. Yeah. I love it. Okay. So where can people find you online, Jacqui?
Okay. So people can find me right now. I would say the easiest place would be via Instagram, either at Upleveling Bliss or on mine, which is through Jackie's Eyes. I had changed that. It used to just be my last name and like Mast Jack, but I changed that recently and the website is getting revamped right now. So stuff is getting moved over to the new platform and where I will actually have more of a structure and a system. So the people can find me there. But that will just be uplevelingbliss.com. But I would say
Okay.
the easiest way to just find out and like reach out to me would be through Instagram right now.
Okay.
Um, and then from there, there is a Telegram. There is a free Telegram channel. So it is
Hmm.
still linked in my bio that people can join the free Telegram group. And in there, I have like some free meditations, information on like the retreat, things like that. And I will also be hosting, I will be on part of Audrey Martin's program on, I want to say, for me, it's January 2nd. I want to say it might
Okay.
still be January 1st, where you guys are
Oh,
in the
right.
in the time zone when we are
Yes.
looking at this, or it's either I know I'm a day ahead because I think I'm doing
Right.
it early in the morning, so it's evening for everyone. It might be like 4 p.m. for everyone else.
Gotcha.
So that is another one that I'll be on where we will be talking more about the retreat and then having the actual sign up links, like how to get on the wait list, put a deposit down, all of that. So,
Gotcha. Okay. All right,
so
guys.
people can reach out.
Yay. Exciting times ahead. Yeah, your retreat sounds amazing, Jackie. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yes.
Okay, so just a couple fun questions I like to ask my
Yeah.
guests as we're closing out. What is a favorite food and drink for you?
Ooh, okay. Favorite drink lately has been, I would say, oat milk matcha lattes.
Mm.
And that has been a favorite. And just even like here in the tropics, watermelon juice. Like that
Oh,
is one of
right.
my favorites
Okay.
where
Yeah.
they just kind of blend it up. So it's like it's fresh watermelon juice. It's like they literally went and got it. It was put in a blender. They added some water, ice, or something. I'm like, that's one of my favorite, like refreshing
Yeah.
ones with lime in it.
Yeah. Watermelon lime.
Um,
Hmm.
and then food. What is some of my favorite? I would say like smoothie bowls in the morning, like dragon fruit smoothie bowls,
Okay.
because here in Bali, I feel like that is probably some of the best dragon fruit in the world,
Ever, ever. Yeah.
ever, ever. There's like really good tropical fruit all over the world, but I think dragon fruit, I feel like Bali has the best.
Mm.
And like other places, I would say like bananas are probably better, maybe in like Costa Rica or somewhere else. But I feel like dragon fruit, like the red dragon fruit here, like that pink red
Mm.
one that you do
Yeah.
not want to get on your clothes because it will stain.
It will stay there forever.
It will stay there forever. Um, yeah, like that is probably some of my favorite ones. And
Yum.
yeah, for savory, I would say like veggie curries.
Yeah, a good veggie curry. Yum. Sounds good. All right. So, last question. You're in Bali now. What's next?
Okay.
Or
So I
do you
am
know what's
here.
next?
I
Right.
do. I
Okay.
do. There is like there's rough
Mm.
plans. There's
Yeah.
still room for it to move and shift, but I would be here until end of January and like February. Then I plan to, and these are the things that are like moving pieces. It could either be Thailand or the Philippines
Okay.
until March. And during that, it may be a few weeks and I may come back to Bali, or it may just be I am there until mid March and then come back to like Western Hemisphere and then
Mhm.
do Puerto Rico mid March with, I would say, yeah, the Vortex group. And
Mhm.
then from there, it would either be hanging out in that area for maybe a month, or I just go back to Michigan and I kind of look at that depending on how is the weather doing, because that is the time of year where it can like spring can come early and it can be very beautiful, or it can be like we have a
Or
snowstorm
winter. Yeah.
and then it rains and then it all melts and it gets really muddy and messy and then it snows again. I'm like, I'm not coming back yet. I'll give that another month.
Right. Let you work that
So
out and I'll be back.
yeah, I was like, and then I'll come back. So that's kind of those are the next places and steps. And then also figuring out logistics of home bases. That is a
Yeah.
piece of potentially moving some
This
of
next
them.
year, kind of figuring things
Yeah.
out. Yeah. I hear that.
Yep. Like the Michigan one, that one is getting moved.
Okay.
So Mm.
Okay.
But yeah,
Ooh.
looking at another city in Michigan that I would move it to.
Hmm.
But yeah, that is in the process right now of like, yeah,
Getting figured
exactly what
out.
I wanted. Yeah, getting
Yeah.
figured out right now.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Exciting times ahead. 2026 is going to be a beautiful year for you, Jackie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what a beautiful conversation, you guys.
I know, Hannah. I
It's
love
been so
these.
good. I don't want it to end. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for another beautiful conversation inside the Iconic Life podcast. Remember, every choice you make, it leaves a mark. So make them wisely. Your most iconic life isn't waiting out there in the somewhere for you. It's the one that you are choosing and creating from right now, every day. So keep choosing with intention. Keep choosing truth. Keep choosing joy. And if today's conversation stirred something in you, share this episode with a friend, leave us a review, reach out to us. I'd love to hear back from you guys, give us feedback in the DMs, things like that. But help us to spread this movement of women and men who are living, leading, and loving iconically. I'll see you back here next time.